Also take pictures of dried stains such as blood, urine, or semen, which we couldn't do before.
As this demonstration shows, it records how an injury might have happened.
Center, capture.
And then as these photos provided by Furnico show, the contrast will show in all skin shades. It will contrast what looks like light bruising and even show hard to see areas of injury. These images, Christine says, are powerful tools to help potentially turn a pattern of abuse around.
You know, most people, they say they leave 7 or 8 times before they actually leave for good. And I just wonder, is this when the wheels start to set in motion? Because now it's real for you. You know, you've been seen and you've been heard and you've been validated with these pictures.
Now, each of these systems costs about $20,000, but the value, many say, priceless if one of these domestic violence or sexual assault cases does go to court. I'm medical reporter Liz Bonus. Now back to you.
We are getting ready for our next weather maker, and our first round of rain starts tomorrow. The rain chances will continue over the next several days, including over the weekend. We're looking at highs around 83 on Friday with a chance for showers and storms, then 85 on Saturday, and the highest temperatures of the weekend come on Sunday with highs around 88. We'll have the daily chance for rain and storms, and this continues into the following week. I'll let you know how much rain we could see in my full forecast in about 20 minutes. Back to you.
Coming up on Fox 45 News at 6, an update on Saturday's MTA bus crash in downtown Baltimore, clarification on how many people were involved and who is still receiving treatment. And a piece of Maryland history on display in Baltimore, and you'll be able to see the Maryland Dove in Fells Point.
Well, the search is on for multiple suspects from Friday's mass shooting. The latest on the investigation as the community pushes for change. Marylanders continue to call for tougher penalties for illegal gun owners. Fox 45 News questioning the governor on how his new crime plan, as details on specifics remain up in the air. And President Biden's son Hunter will be pleading guilty to federal tax charges, while critics are saying he's receiving special treatment.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News at 6.
All of this is being done without raising any of the tax burden on any hardworking Baltimoreans.
Mayor Brandon Scott signing off on Baltimore's $4.4 billion budget, highlighting a collaborative effort with the city council to make it happen. For the first time this year, the city council used its powers to move money around, including a cut to the Baltimore Office of Promotion and Arts and more funding for the fire department. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mary Bubala. Fox 45's Jeff Abel will have more from that meeting tonight at 10. Right now, we have new details from last Friday's mass shooting in Northeast Baltimore. Our Alexa Ashwell has the latest on the investigation.
A police source confirms to me the department is searching for multiple suspects in this case. Since the mass shooting, I'm told detectives have been interviewing victims, witnesses, and reviewing area surveillance, including just beyond this bus stop where we're told those victims were shot. Those cameras right there. A motive still under investigation. This violence prompting the community to come together.
It's a bullet.
Baltimore police now revealing the suspects in the mass shooting pulled up to the intersection of Cold Spring Avenue and York Road in an SUV. And at least one suspect got out and opened fire on people standing at the bus stop. The violence and raw emotion from a mother of one of the victims.
You have no idea what that's like, to stand over my son and try to have him look me in the eyes and focus and hold on to life.
I want my father. Bringing together this group.
Church is free.
Just down the street from last Friday's scene at the Wilson Park Community Church. One homeowner driving 9 hours to attend.
There's a crisis in this city.
Residents expressed concern about policing, asking for a more hands-on approach.
We put this decree in, right? It's a hands-off approach. And statistically, I wonder if you follow the consent decree, where does the crime go? Does it go up? Because it's not going down.
Another request, more help from city leaders, agencies, and community groups, specifically with resources and funding.
And the councilman, I really respect and appreciate him, but he needs to tell us what programs, what finances are available for us to be able to make the difference that we need to make.
In the congregation, Baltimore City Councilman Mark Conway, who is head of Council's Public Safety Committee and also represents this district.
What are you going to do in front of your home?
Conway vowing to talk with BPD about having a stronger presence here.
If the community is saying it, I think it's a conversation we need to have.
And said while progress has been made within this corridor, more must be done.
People are tired. They're tired, they're frustrated, they're scared. And to drive 9 hours, it wasn't just for this meeting, it's because he was considering selling his home. And that's really unfortunate. I think we want people to invest in the city. We want people to see a future in the city, especially on this corridor. And we don't want setbacks like this to ingrain in people's mind that this is who we are.
I want to point out a couple of other issues the community raised, blight and the trash. Councilman Conway spoke of a project he says is in the works that would charge area businesses a fee, and money from that would go towards fixing these issues. That project, I'm told, though, not yet approved. As for this investigation, police have not yet released any additional suspect information. No arrests have been made. Reporting in North Baltimore, Alexa Ashwell, Fox 45 News.
Well, Friday's incident just adds to the growing list of mass shootings in the city this year. In January, 5 juveniles were shot at the Edmondson Village Shopping Center. One of them, 16-year-old Deontay Dorsey, was killed. In March, there was another mass shooting in West Baltimore along Edmondson Avenue. This time, 6 people were shot. One of the victims just 15 years old. Another victim in that tragedy, 33-year-old Baltimore boxer Ernest Hall, was killed. In April, 4 people were injured in a mass shooting in North Baltimore along Charles Street. And just last month, 5 people were shot near Lexington Market downtown. Now, as crime continues to impact families all over Maryland, Governor Moore is trying to get a grip on the crisis. Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost giving us a look into the governor's latest plan, which comes as voters in Maryland are looking for more action.
Governor Moore's three-pronged approach has some broad ideas, but one specific thing that several Maryland voters seem to be looking for when it comes to public safety policy seems to be going ignored. And right now, the crime crisis continues. From Baltimore and beyond, crime continues to hold a grip on the state of Maryland. It's something Governor Wes Moore is well aware of, though he points to his predecessor as part of the reason.
The surge in violence that we're seeing right now, it's not new. It is something that we inherited.
Governor Moore out with a three-pronged approach. tackling the violence, ripping families and communities apart for nearly a decade in Baltimore alone. Investment in education, law enforcement, and collaboration with local leaders, all in an attempt to address the root causes of crime.
I don't think anybody argues with what is being laid out. The question becomes, what's the detail?
Rob Weinhold, a crisis communication expert and former Baltimore police officer on Fox 45 Morning News, saying people don't care about plans, they care about results.
Because at the end of the day, plans, I always say policy papers, whatever it might be, are just that. The proof is in the pudding, and are Marylanders going to be more safe and feel more safe than they were before this plan was implemented?
Results that right now aren't being felt in every community. Given the lack of specifics in the crime plan from the governor, Fox 45 News emailing his office asking, why not announce specific plans for immediate impact in communities? No response. While the governor is talking about doing things differently under his administration, some things appear to be the same. During the last legislative session, a Republican-backed plan to make the theft of a firearm a felony failing to pass. The same plan that's been introduced in the House since 2018. The latest Gonzalez poll showing nearly 90% of Marylanders support that idea. House Minority Leader Jason Buckle writing his caucus, quote, will continue to fight for sensible policies to keep our communities safe. Fox 45 News also asking Governor Moore's office, does the governor agree with the poll results that the theft of a firearm should be a felony? If so, why not support the legislation? Again, no answer. Governor Moore often heard saying,
Public safety is my #1 priority as governor.
So our final question for him Tuesday, should there be an emergency legislative session to enact plans targeting crime now? Questions ignored by the governor's team. With homicides and non-fatal shootings scarring families forever and more young people finding themselves involved in violence, many Marylanders don't have time for party politics, and they want a safer state today. Without an emergency legislative session, any hope for policy change would likely come next year when lawmakers return to Annapolis. In the newsroom, Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.
We're learning more about Saturday's MTA bus crash in Baltimore in which 17 people were hurt. One person is still at the hospital, but all others have been released. Officials say the bus crashed into another car Saturday morning along Packa Street near West Mulberry Street. The bus then crashed into an apartment building. The first floor of the apartment building was evacuated for a short time. It's still unclear what may have caused the crash.
An investigation underway after a fire at a playground this morning in North Baltimore. A viewer sending us some video. Our newsroom working right now to gather more details on exactly what happened. But our cameras show what is left of the playground. This is on Spring Hill Avenue in the Green Spring neighborhood. We'll let you know when more details come into our newsroom. Well, a new study released by Wallet Hub shows Baltimore City ranks 146 out of 149 for lowest high school graduation rates among major U.S. cities in 2023. The ranking comes after Fox 45's Project Baltimore uncovered 23 Baltimore City schools with 0 students among those tested who scored proficient in math. And this year, city schools spent about $21,000 per student, more than most schools in the nation. One activist telling us that school and city leaders are to blame.
It's not surprising, and it's really sad that the lawmakers and the folks who have power to make true change are not doing so because of politics. Kids have to go to school. Parents entrust their kids to the school system in order to receive a high quality education. They expect for them to, at least at a basic level, learn how to read and do math.
The graduation rates were not discussed during a city school board meeting this afternoon. Fox 45 reached out to city schools asking what's being done to improve graduation rates. So far, we have not heard back. Well, we have some new details about the sudden resignation of Bill Doyle. The director of the Maryland Port Administration stepped down on Friday, 3 days after he was cited in a crash. Well, we have learned he was driving a state-issued vehicle when that crash happened on I-83 last Wednesday in Baltimore. His car hit another vehicle, causing a chain reaction involving 2 other cars. And As we told you yesterday, he received 3 citations, including leaving the scene of a crash. He did return to the site after he was contacted by state police, though. His office has refused to answer if his resignation is tied to the crash. Our Mackenzie Frost has also confirmed that Doyle has been selected to be the new CEO of the Dredging Contractors of America. Hunter Biden will be pleading guilty to federal tax charges. Reaction rolling in surrounding what some critics are calling a sweetheart deal.
I'm Christine Frizzell on Capitol Hill, where the public will hear for the first time from former special counsel John Durham about the ins and outs of his explosive investigation.
We're getting ready for our next weather maker. It's already leading to rain around the region. I'll let you know when we could see rain here and how much we'll get coming up in my full forecast.
Hunter Biden, the son of President Joe Biden, will plead guilty to 2 tax misdemeanors after striking a deal with federal prosecutors on a felony gun possession charge. The Department of Justice is expected to recommend probation for the tax misdemeanors. The gun charge will likely be diverted, meaning it will be dismissed if Hunter Biden abides by certain conditions for a period of time. Final sentencing decisions will be left up to a judge. The White House saying in a statement that the Bidens love their son and support him. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy telling reporters today that the plea should enhance the GOP's investigation into the Biden family.
It continues to show the 2-tier system in America. If you are the president's leading political opponent, the DOJ tries to literally put you in jail and give you prison time. If you are the president's son, you get a sweetheart deal. Now, this does nothing to our investigation. It actually should enhance our investigations because the DOJ should not be able to withhold any information now.
An attorney for Biden says the deal will end the years-long criminal probe into the president's son. A court date for Hunter has not been set. Well, former special counsel John Durham on Capitol Hill today, telling lawmakers behind closed doors about his 4-year investigation into a probe about potential ties between Russia and the 2016 Trump campaign. He will testify publicly tomorrow. National correspondent Christine Frizzell joins us live with what we can expect from this. Christine.
Yeah, it's interesting, Mary. John Durham has operated most of his career out of the public eye, but this 4-year investigation, followed by a pretty scathing report, has prompted House Republicans to ask him to come testify about what he learned and how he learned it. After a 4-year investigation, John Durham concluded that the probe, known as Crossfire Hurricane, never should have happened. His 300-page report detailing missteps, miscommunications, and mishandling of uncorroborated information that came in part from Hillary Clinton's campaign, combined with, quote, confirmation bias, where people at the FBI accepted information and evidence that is consistent with what they believe to be true, while ignoring or rejecting information that challenges those beliefs.
The FBI failed to uphold their mission of strict fidelity to the law.
Republicans say the report proved their longtime claims of a two-tiered system of justice, which didn't treat allegations about Hillary Clinton or Hunter Biden in the same way.
They didn't prosecute, they didn't go after these folks in all of these other instances, but in the one, you go after President Trump.
While the system within the FBI has already drastically changed, according to Director Chris Wray, top Republicans hoping Durham's testimony this week will help prevent future such investigations they have deemed politically motivated.
When your government's lying to you, when your government is telling you that something has happened that has not happened, that's when our committee has to be involved.
That notion central to former President Trump's defense in his current legal troubles over his mishandling of classified documents.
This was a weaponization of politics. This was a weaponization of the White House.
His former attorney general adamant he and those defending him are wrong in this case.
Their basic argument really isn't to defend his conduct because Trump's conduct is indefensible. What they're really saying is he should get a pass because Hillary Clinton got a pass 6 or 7 years ago. If you want to restore the rule of law and equal justice, you don't do it by further derogating from justice.
So looking ahead, John Durham is set to testify before the House Judiciary Committee tomorrow, where GOP lawmakers plan to push him on why officials accused of wrongdoing weren't charged and why certain pieces of evidence were prioritized while others were ignored. Meanwhile, Democrats are expected to call the findings old news and a waste of taxpayer dollars. Mary?
And Christine, is there a reason why John Durham had to make 2 trips to Capitol Hill?
Yeah, it's a good question. So today he spent with the House Intelligence Committee because there was a small portion of his final report that was classified. So presumably that's what was discussed. Again, tomorrow he'll be testifying publicly, and we expect it to be politicized in its own right within the committee.
We will be watching Christine Frizzell live for us on Capitol Hill tonight. Thank you.
Right now, you're taking a look over Baltimore and over Towson, where it's mostly dry. But we do have rain around the region, all associated with our next weather maker, and that will have impacts on your plans for the rest of the week, even into next week. Right now, we are seeing a little bit of rain over parts of Baltimore. Temperature is at 75, and it is a little bit breezy. On the HD radar, we've got just a little bit of green around Baltimore, really not too much, so this will quickly be out of here, and we are looking at a mostly dry evening into the early night. Current temperatures are mainly in the 70s around the state. As we head into the night, our temperatures will fall to the 60s, and we stay pretty mild before highs only reach the 70s tomorrow for the first day of summer. We'll stay in the mid-70s again on Thursday. Then we're looking at high temperatures reaching the 80s on Friday. There will be the daily chance for showers and possible storms for the rest of the week into the weekend and then into next week. Now we're getting ready for rain because of this low pressure system that will gradually move to the north, and that's going to lead to increased rain chances for our area. So we're seeing the rain around the region now, and eventually it does move into our area. We're looking at mostly cloudy conditions around 11, 10 o'clock. Then as we head into the day tomorrow, we're starting off with a few showers along parts of the eastern shore and southern Maryland. By the afternoon, rain moves over more of the state, and this will continue off and on through the evening, so that may mean a rainy commute. And then into Thursday morning, so possibly another rainy commute on your way to work. We'll start to see that rain taper as we head into the afternoon, but we'll have more rain on the way for the rest of the week and into the weekend. Rain chances stay pretty high on Friday and Saturday. We've got the chance for scattered showers and possible storms on Sunday and once again on Monday and on Tuesday, so you will need your umbrellas over the next several days. This rain will be beneficial. We're talking up to 4 inches around the state, and this is going to help to improve the dry conditions that we've had. Much of Maryland is under a moderate drought, so this will help with that. We're also keeping track of Tropical Storm Brett, which is expected to approach the Lesser Antilles before eventually moving west, continuing into the Caribbean. As we head into the rest of the week and next week, we're looking at rain. I'll have a closer look at just how high the temperatures get in the exclusive 10-day forecast.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Heavy rains overnight caused this bridge in western North Carolina to collapse. A flood watch is in effect through Thursday as another 5 to 10 inches of rain is possible. And several lenticular clouds were spotted hovering over southern Nevada. They form mostly in the troposphere and typically in parallel alignment to the wind direction.
Listen to Off the Radar, new episodes every Tuesday. Find it wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, a bucket list can be a bittersweet concept, but one family is making sure a dog with cancer has an enjoyable final days. Megan Dehaney from our Sinclair sister station in Asheville, North Carolina, has the heartwarming story.
Sherry Hensley saw Theo's story and reached out to me on Facebook. She said years ago she was walking her dog when they were attacked by another dog who looked like Theo. She was fearful of them until...
My son got a pit bull, and he became the joy of our life, and he also passed away with cancer. And so the whole story just touched my heart, and so I did this in honor of Hoss, in his memory.
With his mom Trish in tow, Theo raced toward the dock at Lake James to meet Sherry.
Hey, buddy. That's Sherry. Hi.
She and her husband Larry made Theo captain for the day.
We've got a little hat, skipper hat, and a little captain's scarf. Let's get your captain's scarf on. Oh, you're going to give me kisses? Oh, here we go. Oh, so handsome.
And with that, the crew was off for a cruise around the lake.